It's daybreak Monday here on iBrandTV. Army putschists in Guinea said on Sunday they had arrested the president and staged a coup in the latest political upheaval to roil the impoverished West African country. The Nigerian government has condemned the apparent coup d'etat, describing it as a clear violation of the ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance. Now, what message is this sending to other African countries, considering the fact that a coup recently took place in Mali? How can leadership in Africa be made to serve Africans and therefore be more acceptable? JJ is still very much around here in the house. Now, JJ, we thought we had had the last of coups in Africa with the Malian experience, but the takeover of government by the military in Guinea yesterday, Sunday, proved us wrong.
Well, the indications are all there. If you look at what you have in Mali, what you talk about Chad too, what happened in Chad when the president
was shot and killed.
Was shot and killed, and the son succeeded him, and then some generals were summarily arrested and were executed. Which is a failure of is democracy working in Africa? Is democracy working in West Africa? Is democracy working in Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria? And then let's narrow it down to West Africa in particular. You know, about 4 years ago, Gambia went through almost through that process of having the coup, and we talk about Mali, and now in Guinea. The chances that we might have crisis in Côte d'Ivoire is very, very high, because the present president, Ouattara, came into power as a result of intervention when there were too many crises in the country, because Laurent Gbagbo, who had to face the International Court of Justice for crimes against humanity, was taken out of the system because he didn't want to leave the power. Now you have a situation whereby Alassane Ouattara has changed the constitution to ensure that he seeks a third term. So the coup d'Ivoire crisis is there. ECOWAS is not saying anything about it. Now the one,
it's looming.
It's looming. Now the one in Guinea was clear. The man has served 2 terms and is trying to manipulate the constitution for him to have a third term. And he has almost succeeded in manipulating the process. So as far as his government is concerned, his government runs contrary to the constitution of Guinea. So an attempt to sabotage the democratic process itself is a coup. What is a coup? A coup is a French word that means sudden blow. That's the meaning of a coup, a sudden change in government.
Yeah.
Now, when people sabotage the process, whether through the barrel of gun or through illegal democratic means, they are subservient element to the democratic society. I'm not in support of coup, let me put it in perspective.
I was wondering.
I'm not in support of coup, let me put it. I love us to do it through the democratic means. But we have seen what happened in Mali, we have seen what happened in Guinea, and then the president trying to manipulate. And the National Assembly of Guinea became part and parcel of the process that corrupted the Guinean model. So it's a lesson for every African country. It's a lesson for every, there's a particular saying in my local dialect, death that kills somebody that you know, that now kills somebody that stays close to you, is a signal to you to be careful of death. So if it happens in Mali, it happened in Cape Verde, it happened in Chad. You know, the first country the Chadian leader visited the son of, I can't recall his name now. It was Nigeria.
Nigeria,
It was Nigeria that they visited first. It was Nigeria that visited. So what role did Nigeria play in ensuring that, oh, you know what, Guinea president, play by the books. The constitution of your country says 2 terms. Why don't you do your 2 terms and leave the stage and quit the stage when the ovation is loudest? So when people compromise the process, they give room to military intervention.
Now, the military head, the head of military special forces, Colonel Mamadi, said the reason for their actions was because he cited mismanagement as the reason for the coup. Now, because the Guinean government has drastically, they've increased and multiplied the, in recent weeks, the tax and everything just to replenish their treasury. Fuel increased by 20%, now causing frustration according to reports. Now, looking at the similarity to what's happening in Nigeria, what's your take on it?
Well, it's clear that I've asked, is democracy working in Africa? I'm actually, don't forget that before the advent of the Greco representative democracy, whereby people gather to elect their leaders, there have been other forms of government. We have had feudalism, we have had monarchical form of government, and what have you. Now, is democracy really working? That's this representative democracy. Are the elected representative the true elected representative of the people? Are elections free and fair? Do you have independent judicial system? Do you have a vibrant National Assembly that should serve as checks? Do you have a free, impartial, bold media, the press? Do you have an independent electoral commission? So there are institutional checks that should be in place in democratic society. Are those checks in place? Are those checks playing their role? For example, what role did the National Assembly in Guinea play? What role did the media play in Guinea? What role did other regulatory bodies play in government increasing the price of commodities in Guinea? And like you said, there is striking similarities with what is happening in Guinea and what is happening in Nigeria. Are the people consulted before these decisions are taken? So these are basic questions. If you ask people, if you do a vox populi, would Nigerians prefer us to go back to a parliamentary system of government or a presidential system of government, or would they prefer for us to go back to a situation by where we have native authorities and we allow the traditional rulers to rule us? And you know, so these are issues that are agitating the minds of the people, because really, who are they representing? That's the question. That's the challenge of representative democracy, because in actual sense, what people do is to try to get themselves elected into office through whatever means. We have a situation in Nigeria where a senator who happens to be a former governor was declared, and the person that declared the result said he declared the result under duress, and a gun was pointed to his head. The person is still a senator till date. He's still a senator till date. Nothing has been done. All you need to do is to win the election. Now, they had congresses last week, and the media is not helping the matter. They had congresses last week in the ruling party, and people called that congresses, and you and I know it's a charade. It was not a congress. Lists were sent, and those lists were ratified. Is that a congress? Is that a congress? You see, you can't beat principle and expect to get good results. You know what? Whether you are old, whether you are young, whether you are a pastor or you are a imam, whether you are anointed, you are not anointed, if you jump up from this floor, you go down. The law of gravity, the law of gravity is a leveler. It will level every, except you replace that law with another law. So we are in a country where people have no respect for principle, and then can you build a house without a foundation?
No.
You can't build a house, the house will collapse. So we like building houses without having strong foundation. So what we have in Guinea is a signal.
All right. Now, besides whatever must have led to this takeover of government in Guinea, at 83, and having been in government for about 11 years, without any significant change in Guinea, couldn't Condé have thought it wise to relinquish power?
Relinquish power. power is sweet.
Ah, it's sweet, yes.
Power is sweet. You know what it means for you not to think of what to wear, what to drink, and for people to bow and tremble before you. I tell you this, I've said it. The only way we can make Nigeria function is for us to remove all the juices that is attached to public offices. You say you want to serve the public. You are driving exotic cars. Why do you need Prado as an official car if you're a public servant? I'm asking you. Why do you need Prado? Why do you need luxury cars? Because if you really want to serve the public, you should have the basic, just the basic. All you need to do is for you to understand why the layer of power is so high in Africa. It's for you to visit the Lagos State Secretariat here, or you go to the House of Assembly, or you go to all the state secretariat across the nation, or the local government secretariat, and you see how the reality of it is that when the former governor of Lagos State, Ambody,
yes,
had his birthday some few months back, there were no celebration, no nothing on the pages of newspaper. The current governor, let him have his birthday. You see a lot of things. People in public office, they like deceiving themselves. They don't know that power is transient.
yes, sure.
And people can only remember you for the good you have done. Why? You are in office, and it is the good you have done in that while you are in office that will speak for you after you have left office. So you have the opportunity of writing your own history. That's why they say his story. History is his story. Now, what is the story of governance of Tinubu? We'll say it. Of Fashola? We'll say it. Of people can name any building after them while you are in office. They can defer all authority to you. But the reality of it is that once you leave office, the reality will dawn on you. So like you said, the man has been in power for 11 years. What else again?
And now the federal government of Nigeria in a statement has condemned the coup, saying now it violates the COUP protocol on good governance, and calls on those behind the coup to restore constitutional order. Now the point I want to pick, without delay and protect lives and property.
The ECOWAS court, there's an ECOWAS court that has passed judgment against some certain actions of Nigerian government. As Nigerian government obey those court orders.
I was going to come to that.
As Nigeria,
I was going to come to that. You're like the point I was trying to pick here now is without restore order, without delay, and protect life and property. Now this is a government telling another government to protect life and property. I don't know how much life and properties have been protected here in Nigeria.
The last week I traveled to Bauchi. I had to go through Gombe to Bauchi. Now, as I was traveling to Bauchi, when I told people that I'm going to Bauchi, a lot of people were scared for my life.
I'm not scared that
so a lot of people were scared for my life and then I have to travel from Gombe to Bauchi, which is about 157 kilometers by road. I haven't flew to Gombe by here. And a lot of people entertain a lot of fears that, oh, why would you go? What? It's an assignment that I have to go and do. I was going for an accreditation of an institution. This is our country. We must contribute our own quota to improvement of the standard of education in Nigeria. The reality on it is very simple. Do I have fears of going? Yes, of course, I have some fears. But I put my trust in God that I should go. In the area of security, what has government? I asked you the question earlier while we were doing the newspaper review. Why do you have to shut down the telcos in Zamfara to provide the security? These people are not spirits. The people, but when you have a system that rewards criminality, that okay, you have killed and you have maimed people, and you can now come out and say that I have repented, and government will admit you back into the society. There are no consequences for bad behavior. You continue to embolden criminality. When you call terrorists bandits, because the moment you call them terrorists, it means that they are
be treated as such.
They are persona non grata all over the world. They are citizens of no country.
Yes.
They are in no-fly zone list. And they can be arrested by Interpol anywhere. But in Nigeria, you call them banditry, insurgency. And once you shape that narrative, so the Nigerian government is just wasting our time telling Guinea to obey ECOWAS protocol, because Nigeria itself, do we obey ECOWAS protocol when it comes to when Nigeria shut its border under ECOWAS economic treaty? There should be trade among African countries, free flow of, and then you close your own border. You see, what is the role of ECOWAS? What is the significance of ECOWAS? It's just for Nigerian government to release a statement to that effect. Have government released statements about the killings all over Nigeria? Have we been able to protect lives and property in Nigeria? For us to now be troubled about what's happening in Guinea, let the Guineans resolve their internal crisis. I remember when some countries on the NSAS protest, Nigerians were telling other countries to let Nigerians resolve their issue internally. As far as some of us are concerned, ECOWAS has collapsed. Because what's the significance? Now there's no single currency. Since ECOWAS has been established, there's no single rail line that linked all these countries. If it's just rail line that has linked all these West African countries, you know what it would have done for trade? You know what it will have done for tourism?
Yeah.
But all these things are in progress.
In pipeline.
Yeah, in the pipe.
You know a pipe. You know a pipe. When you bring out a pipe, you know it has a hole at the beginning and it has a hole at the end. So it's a pipe dream.
All right. Okay. I was going to ask, would you ever see coup taking place in Nigeria?
I never pray for death.
No.
I never hope for death, because coup does not solve problem. It does not solve problem. All you need to do is to pick the speeches that were delivered by coup plotters in Nigeria. You see a similar pattern. You see a similar trend. You see they ride on public sentiment. You could see Guineans jubilating if they only know the reality. Yeah. If they only know the reality, if they only know the reality of military administration, they will never pray to have one. They will never pray to have one again.
But with the deplorable state of affairs here, agitations here and there, and nothing is being done, or seems being done.
You see, sometimes you tend to concentrate on the federal government. I ask you, what are the state government doing? What are the state government doing with respect to their own enclave? What are they doing? So we expect the federal government to solve all the problems. What is my state doing? For example, in states in Nigeria, when they want to do projects for you, they are doing the project as if they are helping you. We do multiple projects at the same time. Traveling time, anybody that wastes your time is wasting your life. We love wasting people's time in Nigeria, and we are wasting people's life because our life is measured in terms of what? Seconds? Yes. Seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, hours to days, days to weeks, weeks to months, month to year. I traveled to Bauchi. I return on Friday. You need to see the traffic situation between airport and Ogba, my office. It was crazy.
Sorry.
Excuse me. The hours I used in the air from Bauchi to Lagos, from Gombe to Lagos, I spent triple amount of that hour between Ikeja and Ogba. Why? We do multiple projects at the same time. When government is doing projects in Nigeria, they want you to feel the pain, for you to understand that we are doing project to help you. So you must suffer to enjoy it. So sometimes we tend to blame the federal government alone, but the state government have a role to play. What stops Lagos State from turning Lagos to a model state? What stops Rivers State from turning their state to a model? What stops Abia State? For example, Abia, go to Anambra, go to Enugu. The state government themselves have failed. And you know why? Because the local government are not allowed to function. And the cradle of public governance is the local government. Yeah. And in the local government, you have sole administrator. At the state level, you have elected representative. So in a democracy, you have sole administrator appointed. So it's antithetical. You can't have development. You can't. So when we put all of these things together, you look at the failure of government at various levels. The failure of government, I think the bulk of Nigerian problem is the failure of government at the state level. If the state government are functioning, they will supplement what the federal government is doing, and they allow the local government to function, it will complement what the
state
governments are doing. So that's the problem we have.
We once had a guest on this platform, and he mentioned that most of every legal thing they want to run to Abuja, so they have to work with the federal government, more like the seat of power for solution, while neglecting the grassroots level, which is the local government. So, and he suggested that there should be more, how he put it was split it into create more local government, so the people can easily relate to they know their local government chairman, and then the power should even be at the local government level. Are you agreeing with that?
Yeah, because that's the devolution of power. The closest government to the people is the local government, and you have a strong local government. The 1999 Constitution has amended, they don't make exclusive provision for the local government. And then, you know, when the president was trying to give financial autonomy through his executive order, I said the president could have gone to the National Assembly. They control both the reps and the Senate, and they could have had an executive bill, and they could have passed it rather than have an executive order to provide a lifeline for the local government, so that the local government can survive. I agree with him in totality, because the government closest to the people is the local government. But that local government has been hamstrung. The state, through the joint account, are taking resources that are meant for the local government from the local government. And the one that the state should do, they are not doing. I tell you, Gombe used to be part of Bauchi. The road from Bauchi to Gombe is atrocious. You can quote me, it's atrocious. It's unbelievable. And the driver that took me from Bauchi back to Gombe has transversed the length and breadth. We are having a conversation, and he told me, he said, I was in Laro last week, sir. He said, I was in Laro last week. He said, the road from Songwater to Ilaro, he said, it's terrible. I said, sorry. He said, I was in the East, I was in Port Harcourt 4 weeks ago. He's a driver of an institution, a federal institution for that. He said, the roads are bad, okay? The roads are bad. I said, yeah, I can say it for a fact that the roads are completely bad. So if the roads are bad, you provide opportunity for people that want to cause havoc on the road to have, because if the road is smooth, nobody will stand in your way if you are driving your car. So essentially, we should give power back to the local government, because that's where the people are.
Okay. Very, very briefly now, with the jubilation of Guinean citizens over this very incident, what role do because it's like they've been dying in silence. Nobody came up to speak up, you know, like detesting the governance of the overthrown government. What should the citizens of a country be doing?
Yeah, what the citizen, what role do they have? It's unfortunate that you know that the military is a key component part of democratic governance. They are key institutions in bringing order in actual sense sometimes, but sometimes they forget that role. What we should do should be the role of the military intervention, is for them to put in place a transitional government and provide a timetable and a timeline for elections, so that elections are held and that elections is done in transition. Borrow the Zambian example. At every turn of 10 years in Zambia, opposition party wins. I think we need to go and study the Zambian model, so that every African country will learn from the Zambian model, where the incumbent lost in 2011 and the incumbent lost in 2021 and the incumbent lost in 2001. So we need to study that model, so that we have that model, because once you make democracy to survive, people know that they can wait patiently. At the end of 4 years, we'll deal with this government with the power of the ballot boxes. And when people have that sense that they have that power, and that power is not taken for them, they are patient enough to wait for 4 years. After 4 years, their mandate will decide who will govern them. But the situation whereby we mortgage that mandate, you make the people become helpless, and then the military might see an opportunity to seize power.
Thank you, J.J. Johnson.
Thank you so much, JJ.
It's an amazing segment with you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be with you, and it's a pleasure to be with our viewers at home.
Thank you very much.
All right now we wrap up the segment. That was an interesting one. And up next, we'll be having a social media buzz after the short break.